Okay. Now we're good. All
Oh,
right. Sorry about that.
sorry about that. That was us showing new t-shirts from Amira Beth. What is it? Wisdom wear, where the paint is in that has Andara crystals crushed into it. The cotton is absolutely magnificent. Thank you, Amira, so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. So we're just saying we have some current intel, which is our own experience over what the
Look at that.
last couple of weeks. Yeah. Look at mine. Mine's good. Thank you everybody for coming in. We can only see the comments. They're on my Facebook page. I can't see them on YouTube or the other Facebook pages. So yeah, we just wanted to talk about current intel.
Our current intel.
Yeah, what we've
It's only
experienced.
ours, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. As the individual goes, so goes the collective. Or as the couple goes, so goes the collective. So you want to start? You want me to start?
You start.
You want me to start?
It takes me a few minutes to get a bit comfortable.
Okay. So, all right. Glad the sound is on. Good to see everybody. A lot of stuff going down over the last couple of weeks. What is it? The 10th, I think. The 10th of, yeah, 10th of April.
It's
May.
Mother's Day today.
Yeah, it's Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day. So, oh, I'm sorry. It's also my grandson's, my first grandchild is 6-month birthday today.
You have a 6-month birthday.
Yeah. No, he's 6 months. Yeah. All right. So let's talk about it. There's been a lot of energy coming down. There's a lot of movement with the masculine and the feminine. We've gone through this before. It's gone deeper now. And something's going on. And I'll open it up like this. Morgan schedules, everything on Soul Speaks 5D just through the intuitive. And then the week will come up and there'll be like all these, frequencies that are correlating with each other on certain days. And we're heading into this week and I'm only saying this because it's indicative of the energy that's happening, but we have this schedule this week and we're looking at it going, holy crap, what is going on? Because it's a reflection of what's going on in the collective. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. I want to keep going until you start talking. So like tomorrow, we got Grace Solaris and Franco. Tuesday's Magenta Pixie and Travis Statler, who's incredible. Laura Eisenhower Wednesday, Ethan Fox is Wednesday, Thursday Judith Cassell, Mary Rodwell.
It's actually, you say Wednesday.
Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday. Thursday Judith Kuzel and Mary Rodwell, and Friday Sandra Walter and Michaela Sheldon. And we have some other shows in between that. So there's something about these feminine energies that are coming forth that understand the suppression of the feminine, but they're stepping into their power. That's how I would put it. And I know everybody's being affected by it, but this is like a really good sign to me. Like these women that are stepping up, that are carrying that frequency, not of a wounded masculine or being, compromised by the patriarchal, but actually holding their space, holding space for the collective, doing their work. Grace Solaris, Magenta Pixie, Laura Eisenhower, Judith Kuzel, Mary Rodwell, Sandra Walter, Michaela Sheldon. And they're, I think a physical representation of what's happening energetically with the feminine.
When anyone who's actually ever been on the show, that they can contest that when you're going to come on, I usually send 10 or 15 different dates, and everyone picks their own dates. And I was making my own bookings for my own clients today, and I glanced down at Todd's calendar and I'm like, wow, something really huge is going on here. The fact that so many of these powerful voices of the feminine have all picked the same week to perfection. Once I realized that, there were a couple of others, I'm like, oh, okay, I need to book this and this. So we've got one every day. But really, 5 of them picked their own dates. I had a massive experience early in the week. I think it was Monday. I've written a post about it, but it was talking about she knows her mission. She knows her purpose. There's only one aspect missing. For me, we're moving into the Trinity energy, out of duality and into Trinity. And so when my higher self said to me, you know your purpose, you know your mission, there's one aspect missing. What is that? And I was clueless, of course. And so the information came through like, really, really understand your role. So I sat there for hours. I sat there for hours trying to work out what that was, and I couldn't. So I just let go. And then quite a few hours later, because I did let go, I guess, I heard that I am the role. I am the role. And when I really, really sit and own my own feminine energy, when I really sit and own who I am, dark, light, my nerdiness, my dagginess, I've picked a daggy partner, like when I understand the perfection of all of it, then this powerful triad can occur. I'm not very good at making triangles. This powerful triad, this new energy that we're moving into, can occur, and your purpose and your mission all align with when she steps into her full. Part of me wants to say power, but it's not even that. It's acceptance. Full acceptance of her role here.
Yeah.
Full acceptance. And so, I was booking my own appointments today, and I glanced over the calendar and I went, wow, we've got some really, really, really powerful feminine voices in the female form coming on, who have been putting themselves out there, who have been going against the norm, who have been teaching and sharing their own ancient wisdom slowly, comfortably for the rest of us. And when I looked at that, I'm like, it happened. I wrote a post a few days ago about, it's Mother's Day. It's Mother's Day all over the world except for UK. You think about all the people all over the planet that are thinking of the love that they have of their mothers. All of that energy is actually an activation. I'm going to be quiet.
No, that's good. Keep going.
No, I'm good.
You can't stop in mid-sentence. But yeah. But that is what's happening. So everything happens in the energetic field first. We all know that. And so that's why I keep saying, most of the last few weeks, I don't think we've realized how good of a job we've done. So the masculine energy has reached a point because of the feminine energetic elevation, expansion over the last few years, where something's clicked, something has happened. She's moved into the space of being holy and whole. And that's what's happening with the masculine energy too, as a result of the way she's leading this thing. Now I'm saying she and he, but this is really energy. We know this now. And so the neat thing is to see in the physical manifestation that we're all sharing these feminine incarnates stepping up, and
Anchoring.
And it's courageous. And, like all of us, every single one of us that puts out a video or a post, we've all got shadow. There's always something in there. I think we're starting to see where being authentic and real, shadow and all, is actually even a greater catalyst than the alignment we're having with our multidimensional selves. But no doubt the feminine energy is landed, it's anchored, and it's beyond anchored. I think it was anchored a while back, but I think it's actually expanding now, and we're starting to see that.
Yep. And for me, my evidence is, when this diary creates itself, I can say to Todd, there's a power day. Because of the people that pick their own dates, I don't control any of it. Everybody picks their own dates. I did today. When I saw that, there were these people on there, I've gone, oh my goodness. There's a couple more. I sent invitations out and they immediately responded. I felt it happen myself a few days ago. I actually felt, And my external mirror showed me that it had happened. I think we did a live with K-Moon on Wednesday night. I woke up the next morning and it was like boom, like everything exploded. I usually work very quietly, very behind the scenes. And, you know, that was a reflection of me that something had changed. But that triad, that triad was like really significant, because there's a difference between a mission and a purpose. And it's almost like the feminine stepped in and said, I understand these roles, and the only way that those roles happen is when I don't sit, I actually step up and step into my role. I'm here. I was broken. I have done all this shadow work. I'm still a dag and a nerd and whatever, but this is my role. And to fully own her own role when she's already got the pictures of her mission and her purpose, to go, yeah, I can go out there and create this role and still be this nerdy, aging, you know, all of those other human things as well, still shadowed, and I do my absolute best to see that shadow. And I'm so lucky that I've got a partner that, you know, that is a beautiful reflection of that. And we are that for each other. Something happened. And I think for me, it was on Tuesday. It was like, oh, okay, I am exactly who I'm meant to be. I've been studying and doing all this work for 20 years. And the only part of the mission and the purpose in that tribe was me not actually being fully present in it.
Yeah. And this stuff goes deep too. So like we don't even realize it. You know, things are moving so fast. We wake up the next day and, you know, our you know, whatever, our light body energy or our soul or spirit kind of knows it, does know. And at some level the human does, but then the human's starting to align with it. And this is where it gets really exciting. So like you keep talking about and have been talking about, and rightfully so, integrating polarities. And obviously, masculine and feminine are polarities. And we're not going to do away with that, at least not while you're physically in a female body. I'm in a male body, and so on and so on. It doesn't always work exactly that way, but for the most part. But my whole point is the value of zero pointing, the value of integrating the polarities is not just finding the zero point and getting some balance and getting rid of the angst and the worry and the nervousness. It's actually creating that third energy that can be attained anytime we do that. And when we do that with someone else, whether it be a relative or a partner or a brother, sister, friend, whatever, or even in a moment when we go into a convenience store, there's something about this third energy, this age of the Trinity, that is taking on a life of itself. And the more we can integrate, especially with another person, the more that power grows. And it's kind of like autopilot on a collective level. Your turn.
For me personally, there was a precursor to this. And so the week before, I was heavy in grief for, I think, a couple of days. And I didn't know what that was, because I thought, well, I've gone back, I've looked at my life, I've dealt with all the grief of that. But this grief, this really, really heavy grief, just sat there for a couple of days. And I guess maybe I finally surrendered. Maybe I waited for divine timing. I didn't make it wrong or right or anything. But what I was shown was that the feminine, the females embodied on this planet. And, you know, everyone says that's when, you know, there is no difference. We're androgynous. We are androgynous, but let's not forget that we actually created landing in a female form or a male form. And, you know, some of us said, okay, I'm going to actually do this with a masculine energy. And some said, no, I'm going to do it with the same sex or whatever. And, you know, nothing is wrong or right or whatever. We're doing exactly what we were meant to be doing. Now I've forgotten what you asked, or where I was going. Oh, the grief.
Yeah.
So I had a few days of this really, really heavy grief. I didn't even say anything to Todd. He just, we're house sitting at the moment. Thank you so much. It's just been such a blessing. But I didn't even have to say anything to Todd. I just knew, oh, I'm about to go through something really big. Todd just moved out into the RV. When he spends a lot of time out there because he works out there, but I didn't even have to say anything. He just went out there. And so I had this couple of days to myself to really, really feel into myself without any external extraction what was going on. And the stuff that was said to me, or what I understood, was the disconnection between the feminine to feminine. You know, if I looked at my relationship with my mother and my relationship with my daughter, there I could see myself, which was actually a disconnection to myself. My daughter's very, very upset with me at the moment because I apparently abandoned her and married the love of my life. And, you know, I didn't fulfill the role that she was expecting. My mother, I don't have a great relationship with either. And so, you know, they were saying to me, the higher self or whatever, universal intelligence, I don't even care what it's called, was saying to me, like, look at that. Look at the disconnection, the feminine disconnected even from her own power. And so therefore, like, all of these pictures of all these other women are a picture, a copy, a representation of that energy. Once I got that, I actually felt everything align. I felt all of those disconnected aspects like come into myself, and everything changed really. And you know, that's just my story. That's how I experienced it. It doesn't mean that everyone else did. But it was a great experience for me to really look at, where have I disconnected from my own love, from my own power, from who I am through this chosen body that I actually created. And I don't want to jump into serving everyone else and, you know, jumping into oneness and jumping into androgyny until I have the experience of myself. And so for me, it's like owning my own individuality, owning that I picked this female form, owning to the reverse of what I've been taught to be here to completely serve myself and create oneness within myself. And from everything I'm experiencing so far, the more that I do that, the more that it's an automatic energy that is created in a mirror.
Yeah. Yeah. Is that it? Okay. See you later. No, I'm kidding. No, yeah. And I think the thing that I'm starting to get, and I don't know where I stand in being a masculine incarnated physically in relation to, let's just say, the whatever, 4 billion masculine incarnations on the earth. But what I do know is that this energy that's been anchored, that's now actually permeating our collective experience on a personal level, and then into the macro, especially with all the solitude and self-introspection that's been going on since the quarantine, is that nurturing mother goddess energy, and it affects the masculine in me, and the masculine in me seeking I really don't want to say softer frequency, but it's a more polished frequency that still retains the power of the masculine energy. And it's a very important part of the equation of creation, because it's the part of the equation that actually produces expansive universal experiences, the outer breath of Mother Universe. And it's done because the masculine energy in service, and that's probably not the right word, but on a cosmic level it is, in service to the feminine energy. That does not mean subservient. What that means is I am made in the image, I came from the womb, and in a act of gratitude and reverence and praise, I'm going to plant the seed, so to speak, energetically back into the womb to create this third energy. This third energy is what we are all doing. And all this stuff can be very complex in these light worker communities and what's going on the global stage. But if you drill it down to the individual level, it's simply when your energy is confronted or presented with another energy There are enough polarities there that if you can reach a point without even words necessarily, and that's probably the best way to do it, that's just my opinion, when you can actually reach a point of integration and balance within yourself, within your own field, you are then illuminating yourself to a point where the words wouldn't even matter, trying to explain something and getting into all the details. You're affecting everything around you, to include the mirrors that are in your life that are human beings. Your turn.
I don't have anything to say. We were told
The numbers are right here.
weeks ago or months ago
Ow, don't pinch
that
me.
God, now I can't even remember what I was going to say. Your turn.
You were told months ago.
I can't remember. Your turn.
Well, I mean, we all know this has been a dance, collectively. If we have been able to, okay, for lack of a better word, rise above the frequencies or layers or veils of the earth and look down from our higher perspective. And I think we can all get there and have gotten there. But if we can look down at it and actually see what's been going on, we all know that this was a patriarchal realm and the feminine energy was lacking, suppressed. It was not balanced. And we're talking about the physical representations, ramifications, manifestations of the energetic work we've done. That's why I think we've done a great job, all of us. But it's this feminine energy, and that, I wish we could think of a better word. It's this energy of pure power, creation, the womb, the holy darkness that never leaves you. I mean, there's something about it that's anchoring, it has anchored onto the planet, that's expanding this moment. And I think we're going to see more and more and more incarnated feminines stepping up.
And it looks like part of that is happening here on Sology for the week. Like I said, when I send dates out to people, it's really for the whole month. The fact that there were 5, I've actually, now that I see what's going on, I added another 2 purposely. There were 5 very, very powerful women on the planet that are great wisdom keepers, wisdom sharers, whatever you want to call it. I really don't like labels. That all just happened to pick the same week to come out. And that starts tomorrow. To me, significantly says something. I felt it happening in myself last Tuesday. I got the download and the intel that, with this today, Mother's Day today, was another huge leap in embodiment and anchoring of the mother goddess energy. That's what I was going to say. Months ago, we were told that the mother goddess actually wanted to really... Why are you looking at me like that?
Because you're fucking hot.
Damn, now you've distracted me.
I'm sorry, you shouldn't ask me. Don't look at me.
Well, don't look at me like
Well,
that.
this is good. This is what we need. And this is the perfect example. And somebody who is, and all of us can do it, somebody, let's talk about the feminine. The feminine that's pulling in this energy, and that's, channeling is not the right word, but just without being tainted, saying these things, and at the same time being a human being.
Oh, yeah, we're definitely human beings. We act like 2 children all day, every day. We really do. We're so nerdy, so daggy. Right now you've distracted me again. I can't remember what we were told earlier in the year, but it doesn't matter.
Well, let's talk about some of the stuff we've been told. And again, we're speaking, or at least I'm speaking from an energetic standpoint. Please remember that. I'm talking about these collective feminine and masculine energies, are really combinations of frequencies that make up that vibration of feminine or masculine, that are actually starting to meet. And as they're meeting, there's more and more of this third energy that's expanding. And this third energy is like to me, it's like the nirvana vibration. It's like the heaven vibration. It's like the heaven to earth vibration. So it's not like all the work is not on us. It's like we've done so much work that it's starting to take a life of itself. And all we got to do now, and I hate to diminish it and say just do this or all we got to do now, but is just keep doing what we've been doing. And we all know that we're processing things faster. We're not staying mad. We're not holding grudges. We're
Doing
taking
less
responsibility,
projection,
less
less judgment.
projection. Yeah. And we're not home, but we are taking over this realm, the energy, the energetics of this realm, regardless of all the narratives and secret space and this and that and all that stuff that's going on. We are the power. We are the power. You got to start talking.
I don't have anything to say to that.
What do you want to talk about? You want to announce again who's going to be on this week?
Yes, I would love to do that. So tomorrow at 2 p.m. EST, all these time zones in America, Grace Solaris is coming on. 4 p.m. EST, Franco. I haven't got the times for everyone else. Magenta Pixie is on Tuesday. Travis, oh my God, Travis Brandstater is coming on Tuesday as well. Laura Eisenhower is on, I think it's 2 p.m. EST on Wednesday. Ethan Fox, I believe, is 4 p.m. EST on Wednesday. Judith Cassell, I can't remember her time, but she's on Thursday. Mary Rodwell is on 7 p.m. EST on Thursday. Sandra Walter is on at 2 p.m. EST on Friday. She was actually booked for Monday, but she had computer problems, so I shifted that to Wednesday. I'm like, I've got a space there today. I'm actually going to send Grace Solaris a message and say, something really big is going on here. We've got all these really powerful feminine energies that have just accidentally booked for this week. And so Grace said, yep, absolutely. So Sandra Walters, 2 p.m. on Friday, and Michaela
Sheldon.
Sheldon, I can't remember her time, but there's some very, very big voices of the feminine. And, I know that everyone's been told, oh, we're moving towards androgyny, we're moving, the feminine and the masculine don't matter. That is true until it's not true. And then we move into a place of, oh my God, I created being a woman on the planet at this time. He created being a man on the planet at this time that was going to shift out of my old 3D self and all my old programs and everything into, okay, I don't know what this looks like, but I'm playing this role in a conscious union. And so therefore, my understanding has been, not to reject being in a feminine body, not to reject their androgyny, because we've actually been through that process as well, and not to reject his form that he chose. That, originally on this planet, there's such a force of power that happens between two people, whether gender is irrelevant, that happens in that, I know it happens in self first, and it absolutely does. But then when we start creating mirrors and we start consciously accepting this, what is it? This sacredness of the masculine and the feminine, the sacredness of the shadow, the sacredness of the sexuality, the sacredness of all of it, then there appears to be a massive paradigm shift again.
Yeah. Two things. There's a friend of mine, Travis Diamond. I hope you're still on here. Travis, I connected with him like in 2013, right when I got off the street. And he's an incredible guy. He's a Buddhist. He lives in Louisiana with his beautiful partner and beautiful family. He said, as divine feminine floods the collective, balances the energies. It's the age of Aquarius. And yeah, that to me is like, that's what's happening. I mean, to me, that's what's happening. We can expand it in the moment at all times. Or we can keep watching the movie that's being played out there, all the narratives or whatever the case is. There's nothing going on, not the possibility or reality of anything and everything that we can think of, because everything and anything that we can think of is true. But on this timeline, or on this collapsing timeline, or on this singular timeline, the only true timeline, the natural nature of our souls, we are the ones that drive it. we are the ones that create. And I guess what I'm trying to say is the more that we put out of our focus and our energy that we put outside of ourselves with all these narratives, the QAnon, the COVID-19, all these things that seem so horrific on a human level and unfair and unjust. Uh, we are we have the ability to change that immediately by changing ourselves. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy. But to me, that's a huge contribution to the universe to actually go into a dense environment, take on all that information. Empaths can all relate, pull that information in and transmutate it and transform it in full responsibility of the creation and the experience that we're all sharing. Your turn.
I don't know what to say. Are there any questions, or maybe
Oh,
we're done?
there was a question. Hang on a second. There was a question. Okay, so I don't know if you can answer this because when it came in the other night, we could hardly answer it. But somebody asked, "Can you explain, Morgan, the difference between purpose and mission?"
Yes, I can. I don't know how I'm going to remember this. I wrote it with absolute clarity on a post the other day. I'm not going to remember. I'm sorry, I can't remember it in this moment. But I wrote it when I got it. I wrote with absolute clarity, and I'm going to try, but I might get it wrong. It's like my purpose. My purpose was to come to this planet and do the things that I was meant to do. My mission then became to share that as far and wide as I could. So, and that's why I got confused because, if I look at our relationship, the purpose and the mission becomes different. So the purpose was to come here and experience and learn and everything. The mission was to then spread that out and share it, and in whatever form. And the only thing that was missing was me. The role, was that third part of the triad of like, I know I've got a mission. I know I've got a purpose. Okay. My purpose was to come here and transform energy. My mission was to then go out in whatever way, shape or form is to share that. And the only thing missing was me, my own doubts. I'm not good enough, lack of confidence. I'm introvert. I can't do this. I'm going to get Todd to do it. But the other day when I really, really understood that my role was what it was, and really the role is to be me, to be the self. Once we really get that, then this powerful triad ignites into the new. I was told many, many years ago, I'm going to do this, 10 years ago, that we were moving out of duality and polarity into trinity. And I didn't fully understand what that meant at the time, but I knew it was very, very powerful. And I remember going to Bali about 10 years ago and seeing this necklace, which is a trinity necklace. And so as I started learning about trinity, I found out that the Trinity is everything. That, so far we've been operating at a polarity, and for me that polarity looked like, well, my mind's connected, my soul's connected, but I haven't done what I need to do to allow my body to connect with that. So my understanding was that as an equal merging with my mind, body, and soul occurred, with grandmother, mother, daughter, with Father, Son, Holy Ghost, with, all of the Trinity, the power of the Trinity. And it's been there in reverse so far. If you think about humanity, we've been sort of using the Trinity energy, but we'd call it triangulation. Oh God, I don't know how to go into this.
Well,
Triangulation between humans has been, sometimes we form very, very powerful triads with other people, two and another or three separate individuals.
yeah.
But mostly there's been triangulation on this planet. And God, there's so many stories to that. Where, two side by side collude and, the third person is ousted. They're the one that everything is dumped on. But we're actually moving into powerful triad energies, which is actually what we've been shown is part of the new matrix, is based on the triad energy that's going to, if you look at the flower of life, and I've been shown that, it's almost like infinity. It's like as I hit 51% of my mind, it activates. As I hit 51% of my body, it activates. As I hit 51% of my soul, it activates. And then I become a beacon of light upon this new grid. I'm talking too much, I know.
No, you're not. No. I think another way to say it too
Thank
is
you. You're a great translator.
well, another way to say it is this, because I try to keep everything simple for me in everything we do in Soulology. I mean, at least my input with it, because there's so many different ways to explain things. But it's kind of like this. There is a third energy. That third energy has gained a more influential percentage of our experience, and it's growing rapidly. So to take it down to the human level, which to me would be like really simple, is that every opportunity that you have, whether you're consciously mutually engaging another human being who's talking back to you or not, or you're doing it in the ethers, so to speak, in your imagination, and connecting the dots and integrating and forgiving and healing and aligning. When you do that, you're not going to lose. We're not going to lose. That third energy is actually responding to what you're doing, what I'm doing, what she's doing, our intentions. And sometimes the other person may be clueless, but it's just like Morgan talked about earlier, like with the, let's just say the grandmother, the mother, the daughter, right? There, it only takes, and in the space and time that we're in, it only takes one individual to start lighting that triad energy up, and that triad energy is what Tesla talked about, the 369, the free energy of the universe, what makes everything go. The math is different. It's not 1 + 1 = 2, it's 1 + 1 = 3. So don't underestimate the power of one unique and equal self. Don't underestimate the power of you laying in your bed, taking the person that makes you the most upset, the most uncomfortable, the most imbalanced, and just between you and the universe and their etheric energetic field, and just breaking bread. Don't underestimate the power of that, because there's a third energy now that's much more empowered than it was, say, 5 years ago or 10 years ago. We have a couple of questions, by the way. Would you like me to read them? Okay, so Morgan, thank you, Renee Ariel. Please speak in detail about zero pointing. It honestly escapes me.
Okay. I want to say two things. We've got some people on here that are on this coming week as well. I didn't announce them. It's not that they're less important or whatever, but God, yeah. It's not that they're less important. There are a whole bunch of other shows as well, but these are the standouts to me that have actually shared the energy of like there's something really, really big happening. Todd's, I've probably only announced 2 that he's doing a day, but he's doing 3 and 4 other days as well. These other people are absolutely as important, as magical, ever. But when you get a whole bunch of really big names, then you have to stop and go, oh my God, something bigger is going on here. So the question was, what about zero pointing?
Could you explain in more detail about what zero pointing is, because she gets lost?
Okay. For me, zero pointing is recognizing that there's an old program running that, oh gosh, how do you explain this quickly? Okay,
Yes,
so
go quickly. Take your time.
That if I recognize in myself, if I wake up in the morning and I'm recognizing that I'm feeling something, my old self would of something negative, that my old self would want to project that over to somewhere else so I don't feel it. Zero pointing is actually owning. If I've got a controlling parent, to say, okay, why is that the controlling energy presenting to me? What's the opposite to controlling? And for me, it's been like subservience. and then owning, sometimes I can be controlling, sometimes I am too subservient or too quiet or whatever.
Really? It's news to me. You're never subservient. It's okay. It's a good thing. It's helped me a lot. Okay, I'm putting my foot in my mouth. Go ahead, continue.
Go for it. You continue.
All right.
Go for it, Todd.
No, I'm not. We have another. We have another
I'm
question.
talking about,
We have another question that's actually on what you're talking about, and I think maybe this will be a good segue. I really just love Morgan's speaking. Shut up, Todd. No, I'm kidding. She says, "Can you?" This is Anesi Sansika. Can you expand on just the journey of embodiment of who you are and what have been the biggest obstacles and lessons? I think that's a great question and a great way to explain it through your own experience.
wow, that is a really, really good question. And how do I condense that down to like a minute? For me, if I look at my childhood, I went through a horrendous, horrific, in a story form, childhood. Oh, here's a great example. I'm going to say this. I hope I don't offend anyone, but you asked me a question, I'm going to be really direct. I came onto this earth, everything, was like, actually, everything wasn't fine. I arrived, I died, my mother died, like everything went wrong from the very, very first moment. My mother hid me from everybody. It was like it was a big secret in the family. She'd had a one-night stand, and here I came. So from the moment I came, like the story looks really, really... Where are you going, Todd? Be fast with your wee. From the beginning, it looked like very, very bad. I was in an environment where I was raped from 3.5 years old all the way through to 13. And so I hit my teenage years or young adulthood, and I knew, oh my God, I am so broken. How am I going to overcome this? And so I had no choice. And there's this beautiful gift that happens through childhood trauma, is that we dissociate. In that dissociation, where everyone else on this planet thinks that we're not there and we're missing or whatever, we're actually connecting to a whole different universe that is assuring us and teaching us all this stuff. So I spent most of my young life dissociated. Unbeknownst to everyone else who thought that maybe she's crazy, I was connecting to universal intelligence. Now I can't remember the question, and Todd's not here to help me. Todd, hurry up. I can't remember the question. I feel really bad, and there's no one here to remind me. Take a breath. Oh, okay. So everything looks at through a 3D perspective and through the pain body or through unconscious eyes, like I'm not doing a good job here. I can't remember the question.
The question was, hang on. Oh. All right. The question was, hang on. It's a very good question.
I lost myself halfway through rambling.
It's okay. This is what happens.
Yep.
All right. Okay. Can you expand on the journey of the embodiment of who you are and what have been the biggest obstacles and lessons?
So I spent most of my young adult life, now where are you going? Feeling like I was broken. I'm not like everyone else. I'm trying to be normal and trying to fit in. But my job was to actually understand that everything that happened was my very own creation of perfection. I was told a few months ago that I experienced all of that, the darkest part of sacred sexuality. And now I'm just in kindergarten learning the absolute lightest part of sexuality. So, wouldn't I do that? Like, what a magnificent creation to experience the worst of sexuality, to then now at 53, well, maybe for the last couple of years, experiencing the absolute sacred, the pure light of sacred sexuality, which looks nothing like 3D human sex in any way, shape or form. So, I came from the absolute darkness. I found a space of zero pointing where I was able to say, I don't care. I love myself. I love the perpetrators. I just love everybody. And now then I go to the other extreme of experiencing the most incredible sacred teachings that are coming. I think that answers the question. It's like really basically understanding there is no wrong. There was nothing wrong. I created all of it. As long as I keep coming back to balance and unconditional love for myself, then everything's perfect.
We went blurry. Hang on.
Oh, I'm good with blurry.
You good with blurry?
No one will see all my greys all popping up around the temples, all the new wrinkles that are coming because you hit 53.
Hang on.
I'm good with blurry.
Let's get this thing going. I don't know what happened.
That camera was gifted to us by a beautiful, beloved brother and his partner, Scott Ware, and Maria, how do you say her last name?
I don't know.
Who noticed our Todd's blurry lives and bless them, sent us a magnificent camera that also goes blurry.
I think there was another question. Let me see. Can you... Oh, no, that was it. Okay. But there was a great comment here somewhere. Renata, our friend from Greece. Why are we blurry? That's weird.
I'm good with blurry.
The third energy is the third path. No higher timeline choice, no lower timeline choice. It feels that the third energy is the path or the essence that is leading to true life, the path outside of time and space of this universal matrix of the tree of life technology. In my view, to exit this technology of the two opposites, zero neutral point, needs to be accessed, and then the third path opens from within. Let me restate that just for myself. In my view, to exit this technology of the two opposites, zero neutral point needs to be accessed, and then, okay. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, to me, it's like a video game. So you have this duality, and what she's saying is what you say and many others to neutralize it by going to becoming neutral, and then it opens a new game or a new level, basically.
So if you picture an infinity symbol and imagine one side of the infinity symbol being one polarity and the other side of the infinity symbol being another polarity, that center point where it crosses over is where zero pointing occurs. Now, that is the point that a new loop can actually be created into Trinity. Now, we don't all know what that new loop contains, but we do know that it doesn't include attachment to hate. It doesn't include attachment to love. There's this third energy that's just created that I think we're currently learning and integrating. What are you doing, Todd? Please don't put the camera closer to me. I really don't like
people are talking about it. You look beautiful, Morgan. You don't need blurry.
Thank you. But I like blurry.
Morgan must have spit on the lens by accident. You're a beautiful, Morgan.
All right, stop.
Okay, and here's a serious one. Can we revisit the concept of 0 point, please? What is that? What is 0 point? Can we make it simple? And I don't know.
Yes, we can make it simple. Absolutely. There is such a simple, easy way to do this. And that's understanding that when the sperm and the egg connected, that we actually took on the parents, the grandparents, all of the ancestral. Please be careful with that. Mm-hmm. You don't know what you just did.
I do. Oh.
Please be careful. Be careful where you're pointing the camera.
Why are we blurry?
I've got a very short skirt on.
I don't understand.
I'm good with blurry. Stop it.
Why? I don't understand why we're blurry.
All right, now I've forgotten the question. I'm good.
You forgot. Somebody said, you went blurry. It happened when you left Morgan. She shifted over, then the camera went blurry. So you need to bring your stuff back into balance. What the hell's going on here?
Let's do 3 fingers, Todd. That will fix it.
All right, let's do that. I'll just do what I normally do. That's really strange. I think it's got something to do with the lighting. Here, let me try this.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it is. Watch. I know what I'm
We
talking
didn't
about.
change the lighting.
Yeah, watch. No, it's not working. All right. Well, and so it is. Okay. So we've been on 53 minutes and 20 something seconds. She needs to move to her left.
I need to move to my
No,
left.
you're good.
Okay.
If that works, you're hired. It said you're breaking the internet. Steamy hot topic. Morgan's talking. Yes, it is. It's an aphrodisiac. Oh, that's one of the things I was going to say. No, I don't want to get into that yet. It's too deep right now. So what else? God, that's really weird, that blurriness. It's 214 people in here. Okay. Why don't you turn the camera around and back? Okay, we're going to try that. Think of the last. How are we going to conclude this statement? Thank
Put
you.
on the audience.
Oh yeah. Well, they can't. What do you mean put on the audience? They're going to be seeing the screen, like they're out there. Okay.
Look at our lovely t-shirts from Amira Beth.
Yeah.
Move
So,
your hand, Todd.
we're going to be on.
And on the back is.
Yeah.
Oh God! How do I do this?
Just turn around all the way. Yeah.
Amira Beth's.
Mm.
Amira Beth's t-shirts are absolutely amazing. The paint
Usually
that is printed onto the t-shirts contains crushed Andara crystals. Her webpage is what? Wisdomware.com? Is that right, Todd?
Yeah, wisdomware.org.
.org.
And the shirts are made out of bamboo. So they have the
So it's bamboo cotton with Andara crystal infused paint that prints, I'm sorry about the blurriness, the sacred.
Okay. So let's wind it down. Is there anything else that's come in the last? I thought of something at the beginning of the show.
Yeah, we've had a really big week. It's very hard to remember it all because once it's done, it sort of just leaves, you integrate it, and then it's gone, really.
Yeah. So I went to see my daughter today, my grandson, and their friends, and I heard some stories, basically. Good stories. I mean, like experiences, not stories. And it kind of went along with one of the things that's happened over the last, 10 days. So one of the things that's happened, everybody knows that we put our hands together at night and then we connect and then we see what happens. So over the last 10 days on 2 or 3 nights or 4 nights, I don't know, they've come through, they being the you, me, we, and it, or they being our aspects or whatever, have said, we are going to make contact with you on more of a physical or with the trajectory of physicality. In other words, more and more and more. So I heard some stories today that were along those lines. And I think the two things that came up, one was we were told the disclosure, so to speak, doesn't happen out there. It happens on an individual level as each person does the work and raises their frequency. And then that energy or those aspects will come in and communicate and so on. So that was kind of one thing that happened. And the other thing was the connectivity between people and what they were experiencing and how that's kind of fallen into the synchronicity category, I guess. But it's not numbers now. It's actually all these things that are happening, to ourselves on an individual level that are matching what's happening to people outside of ourselves. Okay, your turn.
I'm good.
You're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you want to go ahead and say what the week's going to be one more time? Don't worry about times, just days.
Yeah, I don't know all the times. Oh, I just lost my glasses.
Mm-hmm. So Monday's Alicia Young Hall, Grace Solaris.
We don't have our diary in front of us, but we did, There are lots of other people on as well, but I'm picking out and if it triggers you or whatever. But Grace Solaris is on Monday, so is Franco. And there's another one or two people as well. I can't remember who they are. Magenta Pixie is on Tuesday with Travis Brandstatter, and there's another one or two as well. Laura Eisenhower is on Wednesday, as so is Ethan Fox, and so are another couple as well, one or two as well. Judith Cosell and Mary Rodwell are on Thursday, and there's another one or two as well. Sandra Walter is on Friday, and so is Michaela Sheldon. And I think there's another one or two as well. You know, I picked out, there are, you know, like it or not, and it doesn't matter, and there's no right or wrong. There are some people who have been working and hopping on internet, even before we had, you know, things like Sology or the Freedom Network or all these other people that are now doing this. There's some people who have been working for years and years and years. They've been hopping on internet. They've been sharing all their stuff. We absolutely do not make these beautiful hidden individuals any less important than the others. But these people that all just accidentally happen to book in the same week, for me, energetically says something. I'm getting all these messages from people saying, oh, am I not on? And where am I? And did you cancel me? And all that sort of stuff. No, but I actually did cancel a couple to fit these in when they just today. And we'll reschedule them. And I'm sorry if I triggered you, but hello. This is a really, really big week. There's two that I'm going to reschedule. They're not cancelled. You're no less more important than anyone else, but there's something really big happening this week. We didn't plan it. We're not trying to book it, you know, force it, or it just happened. You know, Sandra Walter was booked for tomorrow. Her computer broke down. So she said, can I please do this on Friday? I want her on. So I'm going to contact the person that was booked for Friday and say, do you mind if you come on next week instead? It just is. It's not personal. It just is. Yeah, that's my inner arsehole coming up again.
We have another question from our beautiful sister Geraldine in Ireland. She says, if a person has had a lot of trauma throughout their life, but is clairvoyant and fantastic at helping others, but has extreme fear in their own reality, what can you say about that?
A very, very close friend of ours contacted me 2 or 3 weeks ago and said, I actually looked at the wounded healer. I actually did lists and 0-pointed all of the stuff around wounded healer, cleared it all. And so, you know, we've been tricked into thinking that we're here, we're meant to be of service, we're meant to be people pleasing, we know our healing abilities, you know, we just want to help everyone, help everyone, help everyone. When you 0-point the wounded healer archetype that so many of us have, then all that stuff goes away and you understand, oh, here's a story that was told to me about 20 years ago and I love this story. I really understand it. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing. I'm looking at you.
If there's a God, God sends every single one of us $100 a day. Every single one of us gets $100 of energy a day. And if you really think about, you know, what you're left with at the end of the day, well, I gave $10 to my daughter and $20 to this friend, and I saw this man in really big trouble over there, so I gave him $70. And then at the end of the day, what am I left with? Well, most of the time I used to be left with nothing until I really, really got this, is that sometimes when we think we have to help other people, we're actually robbing them of the opportunity to help themselves. Sometimes it's just better to talk to them, to listen to them, to share maybe what we did. But, you know, this healer thing, I don't think it's allowed to exist in the new paradigm that we're entering. The greatest service that you can be to this planet is understanding that you are the center of the universe. Everything that you give to yourself automatically then shines out in a whole different perspective. Stop helping everyone else. Stop fixing everyone else. Stop trying to heal everyone else. They are their own very, very powerful beings with their own $100, by the way. Stop looking at my skirt. With their own with their own
Just say
$100
that.
and with their own powerful energy. And sometimes sitting back, and that's what I love about the plague that we're experiencing at the moment, is that we're not out there being distracted by all these other people. We're not tuning into their energy. We're in our homes, we're by ourselves, and we're feeling all of our own stuff. For goodness sakes, there is no person more important on the planet than self.
Yeah.
When we start pulling all that in and giving all the healing to myself, all the love to myself, all the attention to myself, then our mirrors start reflecting that. We start bringing in people in their own power, responsible for themselves. I'm on my bandwagon again.
No, you're doing good. So, few comments here. Um, Taryn Warren says, "Thank you much. First time seeing Morgan. I sent her a friend request just this week, and she accepted you both. Cheers." There was another one. I thought that was it. Oh, you are Aussie, Morgan. I had no idea. Melissa Turnock. But wait a minute. There was another one here. Okay. Havisham Estella. Thank you. She says blurry is a precursor to zero pointing.
Oh, thank you.
Everything halts in neutrality. Like Morgan starts to explain, then she stops suddenly. But that kind of says it. It's like we can talk about it, but that's why you can't do anything for anyone because they've actually got to experience it. It's like when you get to that point where you can actually explain it fully, you don't have to. That's the way I see that. I thought that was brilliant.
I get nervous on these. I mean, it's still not my comfort zone, but if you did nothing else but serve yourself through all of the external projections that are being shown and understood that every single event, person, thing outside of yourself is simply a reflection of an unconscious or conscious program within yourself and started addressing that in you, that's all we need to do.
Jennifer Ray, my Kundalini flushed all that away. So empowering yet humbling to love yourself unconditionally and learn to fill your cup. So right, Morgan. We need more Morgan speaking out. Great advice, Morgan. Yes, bless you. Okay, so here we have hell yes, and so on. You're getting more comfortable in front of the camera, Morgan.
Yeah, I love a blurry camera.
So, okay, there was one thing I wanted to go back to here because the one thing I've learned to really appreciate about Morgan and I, which is really weird because we both have been on since, I started like in 2011. You were like a couple of years before. Being driven to put our own stuff out there, like what you receive, you just put it out there. You're like, I don't want to do this, but you do it. And what's kind of cool is that I listen to her sometimes and I gain more clarity on things I've received. And because I hear it in a different way, you know? And so this question that came up earlier, let's see, by Geraldine, which was, if a person had a lot of trauma throughout their life, but is a clairvoyant and fantastic at helping others, but has extreme fear in their own reality. So like what she said, yes. Like, the meme, what she said, that's it.
I pick me.
Yeah. And the way I kind of got that through working with Morgan, even though we were in a relationship, I guess in some sense I was still like, well, I was probably like her pet project. But what I'm saying is it's this whole embodying thing. And the question before that was about the embodying. Can you talk more about it? So it's kind of like it's the challenge is, okay, so you detached, integrated, aligned, accepted, loved these traumas that you set up for yourself. But by the same token, you have these multi-dimensional aspects, divine essences, angelic, galactic, and all that stuff coming in, and we kind of over-identify with that. So when I see the statement from my beautiful sister Geraldine talking about, well, it's a clairvoyant, and they're very good at helping others, which Morgan answered. the whole point is that information that comes in is no different than what we did in our past as a victim or a victimizer. And you take the transformational energy from it and you move on and kind of forget about it, basically, you know. And I think that's one of the challenges that we're having as we're making this transition, is not getting caught up, or we're not getting caught up so much in what's speaking to us or what it looks like is speaking to us. It's us. It's you, me, we, and it. It's all the same thing. It's giving us information, codes opening up, and the combination of frequencies that make up the vibration speaks for itself. So words are going away. So I don't know what you're going to do for a living. Okay, what else? Anything else? Let me see if there's any more questions. I see. Oh, somebody sees beautiful beans around us. Okay, that's cool. Okay, so I think that's it. Question. Okay, one more. What is the present lesson you are working through as beings, experiencing awakening together as a couple? Oh my God. I wasn't going to say what I said, what I was thinking about saying earlier, but now this question is going to make me do it. You go first. So, what is the present lesson you're working through as beings, experiencing awakening together as a couple? So, what is the present lesson that you're working through?
No, you go first.
No, man, I can't go first. Mine's deep. I'm probably gonna, faint. And there's another question after this. Okay, all right. So I'm going to tell you what I'm working through. Or I've worked through it. I've actually worked through it.
Which is very cool because I don't even know.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, you kind of do. You'll know when I say it. So I've kind of worked through this. I'm not working through it. I worked through this in the last 48 hours. And I said something to Morgan 5 hours ago about it. The reason I say this and the reason we share is because as the individual goes, so goes the collective. As the couples go, so goes the collective. It's all one and the same. So what happened was, in these, and again, don't get caught up in the literal. Think about energy only. Morgan and I are personification of the masculine and feminine energy. We're not anything. We're just like you. We're just like everybody else. But one of the things that's happened, and this is coming from a very, at least, in my past, a very highly sexual masculine energy. All right. So I meet Morgan. We were both celibate. We remained celibate in the first 22 weeks, we actually physically were with each other, 20 weeks. Okay. And so then she came back and this went on and on. We had sacred sexual experiences. We've talked about that and whatever. But what I finally got to was, I said to her today, we are not having intercourse, sex again until there is universal alignment. Now, I have pulled my hair out, my black hair. I pulled all my black hair out. That's why it's all gray right now.
No, that's not true. You're lying.
But my point is, I actually can tell you that I don't know where I stand on the expansion or realization of the masculine energy of itself, which affects us all, regardless of our physical incarnation. But I can tell you that I have actually closed that door. I closed that fucking door today. I said, we will not have sex anymore until there's pure universal alignment. Because something is telling me, the you, me, we, and it is telling me, and this is all tied together, that there's something so far beyond whatever heights you've experienced in the physical in terms of sexuality, sensuality, let go, give up. And to me, that really hit home because it doesn't just speak to sacred sexuality, it speaks to every aspect of my essence: wisdom, love, courage, open mindedness, the whole nine yards. Like, we are so close, it's right in front of our face. Okay, your turn.
Um, to simplify that, we were told, I think a week ago, if there is still any old programming around sex, give it all up. Give it all up. And like everything, as we let go and give everything up, then and if we truly do it, then we allow a period of a reset and we align with a higher frequency of those things. So I think that's my translation to what you just said. Like,
that was
let go of everything.
You were supposed to give your experience, not translate mine. But I just translated.
Well, that is
yours.
my experience. I heard, let go of everything.
Yeah.
Just surrender, let go, and it's done.
Yeah, and,
for the masculine energy who has had attachment to erections and performance and all that sort of stuff, I guess it would be a bit more difficult. But I spoke to people today that said, I don't know what's going on. I know I'm not allowed to have sex. I'm not even allowed to masturbate. And I'm like, brilliant. You're allowing for an absolute reset out of the old matrix and labels. I don't like labels. Out of the 3D programs and everything. You have a period of like nothingness, and then you get to enter, the true. The true sacred sexuality, the true pure love, the true divine conscious union. But there is a period of absolutely letting go, of entering nothingness as the old programs die away, and then we enter.
So to me, yes, that sacred sexuality, or what I was just talking about, my own experience, is like Morgan's told me for a long time since I met her. Copies of copies of copy. So what it is to me, the way I get it, whether it be conventional sexuality or intimacy or any other aspect of my existence, it's like including these loops that play in your head, including like, getting caught up in conspiracies or disclosure or COVID-19 or whatever the case is, or relationship, whatever the case is. It comes down to making that choice and saying, I'm going to go with this essentially non-physical aspect of me, and I'm going to let go of the physical. But what I'm getting is when you do that, and we've actually experienced it a little bit, you're actually going to let go and pull back in this physical / non-physical integration that's beyond, right? I mean, like beyond anything you could think of. Okay, your turn. Time to go.
Yeah, no, I'm good.
You're good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
we came on here. I'm so excited about these very, very powerful feminine energies that are coming through. I feel like I'm going to learn, and I've been booking on my clients around them that they're going to share stuff that I'm actually going to learn. We've been waiting for this for so long, for the embodiment, the anchoring of the true divine feminine energy back on the planet. And yeah, when I saw them lined up this morning, I'm like, and I felt like last week. It was like, there's something that big that has happened. Like I said, I wrote a post earlier in the week saying the importance of Mother's Day. There was something big that's going to happen. But yeah, we've got a lot of like really exciting people on. I'm going to send a couple of messages to 2 people saying I need to reschedule for next week. I'm already getting messages from a couple of them. I'm sorry, it just is. It just is. We need to make space for this big event of the consciousness awareness of what actually so many of the feminine I'm going to say this, the females have been working and working and working for this. It's happened, and we've got a reflection that's going to actually present on Sology over the next week of what has happened. So apologies to the 2 people that I need to reschedule for the following week. It just is.
Okay. Battery's running out.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm good.
All right.
It's enough.
All right, give me a long one.
No. No, that's
Give me a
enough.
long one.
After.
Give me a long one.
Oh, go away.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's show 'em.
No, I'm not showing anyone anything.